Hello and welcome back to Brick Gaming YG. I'm back here today with another video, and I'm going to give an update to zombie deck profile. So this is an update like zombie control, zombie stun build. I kind of predicted the ban list, and my previous builds have not included Link-Ross. I know that that's been really common for a lot of people to include Link-Ross in their build for this deck, but I've tried to avoid that. And then today I'm going to give you guys like kind of a stun variant that just can outright still just destroy the meta, and destroy the meta even better than it already has. But before I get into it, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, I will highly recommend it. The goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of next year, so please help out in that goal. And finally, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers who have been around, who've been commenting, who've been showing their support. It really means a lot from all of you guys, and I hope you guys continue to support the channel, so let's get right into this. So first off, I'm going to start off with all of the monsters in the deck. I did cut out the dangers just because you don't need the dangers anymore. So first off, triple Shiranui Solitaire, super good, and of course paired with triple Unizombie. This was just one card combo starters, just super easy to make, super easy to use, and you just win games just based off these cards because they do everything you want to do in a zombie deck. They get you there, and they allow you to win more easily. Next off is 2 copies of Glow Up Bloom. Glow Up Bloom is always really good. First off, it's just a level 1 tuner in case that ever comes up. Secondly, it summons out your big boys or adds them to hand. So it's just really good in both of those ways. So really strong card. Next, 2 copies of Necroworld Banshee. This one grabs you your field spell, activates directly to your field. Super nice, and you can banish it from either field or grave. So just super good all around. Next is 2 copies of Mizuki and the 1 copy of Gozuki. So Gozuki is like Unizombie but worse in a lot of respects, but you still need to play it just for consistency. And then 2 copies of Mizuki because, hey, it's a free monster reborn every single time you use it. And you can place it back in your graveyard with various different effects. So very good card altogether. Then moving on, I have 2 copies of Doom King Balderok. Balderok is super nuts. When a zombie activates an effect, you can banish 1 card from the field or grave. And then the second effect is when a zombie activates its effect, you can negate that effect. So Zombie World turns everything into zombies in field or grave. So basically it's like a free removal from field or grave for your opponent, or it's a free negate whenever they activate a zombie effect. Next up is 2 copies of Jacobolin. This card's actually pretty decent all around. You discard a zombie special summon it so you can get rid of brick cards, like let's say you draw into Mizuki or Necroworld Banshee. You can just get out of your hand super easily. And then also as a quick effect, you can target 1 zombie monster in either end during your opponent's turn in either player's graveyard. You special summon it, and then you banish him until the end phase, and then when that monster reaches the field, it also gets banished. But you know, you can trigger Vampire Sucker off of that, so it's pretty good all around. Then moving on for our final high level zombie is Frolin, just because it reduces attack. So just super nice when you get reduced attack for free. What? Easy. And this card can also just allow you to potentially OTK your opponent more easily or do more damage a lot more easily. If your opponent has lower life points, this card can come in super clutch and just easily make your guys into even bigger beaters in a respect. Then moving on, 3 copies of Ash Blossom. It's a zombie, it stops stuff, super simple. And then finally, 3 copies of Nibiru. Because combo decks are still going to be a thing, they're going to still be around, but now they're even more fragile, and since they're more fragile, Nibiru just becomes an automatically better card against like so many different meta or even tier 2 matchups. And it just allows you to win games going second, so feels good. Feels good every time. Then moving on to the spells and traps. First off, I play 3 copies of Zombie World plus 1 copy of Terraforming. So altogether in this deck, you're playing like upwards of 6 copies of Zombie World. You should see it like almost every single game, just with how many copies you're playing. And this card is amazing. Just turns everything on the field or graveyard into zombies, and your opponent cannot tribute something except for zombies. So yeah, True Draco, kind of bad for them, and for any other deck that might attempt to tribute. Then moving on, I got 3 copies of Super Polymerization. Super Poly is super nice because when everything is zombie, there's an easy target in the extra deck, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But he is known as the Nether Soul Dragon, and just removes 2 zombies, so it just makes everything into a generic Super Poly target. And then of course the other traditional Super Poly targets, but this is just good interruption, good way to prevent your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Moving on, I have 1 copy of Monster Reborn, 1 copy of Foolish Burial, one copy of 1-for-1, and one copy of Called by the Grave. All these cards have their own really significant purpose. Called by the Grave prevents hand traps. 1-for-1 gets you into your level 1 faster and gets another card that you might not want out of your hand. Foolish Burial gets stuff in the grave faster. And Monster Reborn brings back anything and potentially gives you another draw off of Vampire Sucker. So super good. Now moving on to traps, I play a total of 6 traps. That being 3 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. This card is busted. Super busted. One of the best cards in this format in my opinion. And it's one of the best cards for stun decks all around. So I would highly recommend playing Ice Dragon's Prison in this deck. I know that's kind of getting up there a little bit in price. I don't know if it's still up there in price, but this card is really good and you should definitely pick it up. And then finally, 3 copies of Rivalry. This card just turns into everything, because everything is zombie on your side field, it basically says you can only control one type. So if your opponent has a bunch of zombies on their field because of your zombie world, it's basically like, hey, you can only control one monster. It locks them out of the duel. Then you can just play beat down and just control the duel for the rest of the game pretty much. And win from there. Now moving on to extra deck. I'll play 1 copy of Link Repo. Link Repo is just a generic Link 1. Super good, glow up bloom, just easy to make. And it also can bring back and prevent attacks. Moving on, I got 1 copy of Barricade Board Blocker. This protects your field spell and it's also a discard, which is also pretty nice. So 2 really good effects on him. 1 copy of Hulk. Of course, Hulk is still around. Hulk is still good, and it just facilitates more plays. Sure, you're not doing the whole Hulky into Link Ross into synchro shenanigans anymore, but adds consistency to your deck and gets you into cards that you might not be able to get into otherwise. So feels good every time you make it. Then moving on, 2 copies of Vampire Sucker. Vampire Sucker all around is a pretty decent card. It really puts in a lot of work into the deck, and yeah, you get draws off of it. You can reborn something from your opponent's graveyard to get a draw. Just really helps out with consistency. That's the main thing that I want to get across. Consistency really improves with that card. And gives you a bunch of pluses, so really nice. Then 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus, 1 copy of Phoenix, and 1 copy of Unicorn. I feel like the deck just needs more generic outs to just every single scenario. Because Boulder Rock is nice, but that only deals with monsters, so these are just more generic outs and more ways to deal with other cards. Then, of course, the 1 copy of Access Code, because Access Code goes skirt. Sorry for the reference, but it's so good. It's such a good card. It just like completely blows up your opponent's field. Easy OTKs with this card. Easy access into whatever you need to do, and it just goes vroom vroom. So easy. Then moving on, we got 1 copy of Borreload Savage Dragon. Borreload's super good. Just you make him mid game or even early game, and just set up another negate. And this card is just really good. Really big boy. Really easy to make. Really good card. Then, of course, Omega recycles back your Banish, so that's really nice. And also, it gets the card out of your opponent's hand, so you can always hand loop your opponent for 1 each turn if you want to. So, really nice card all around. And then, I forgot to include the Synchro 7 before these guys, but the 1 Synchro 7 I am playing at this point is FA Dawn Dragster, because Dawn Dragster just negates spells, and spells and traps. And it's super nice to have this card in there. Really good card. Then finally for the fusions, 1 Mud Dragon. Just 2 monsters with the same attribute but different types. This guy's made off of Super Poly, obviously. 1 Starving Venom. Dragoon's still a card, so as long as Dragoon's a card, Starving Venom is still probably the best choice. And then 1 copy of Draco Necro. This is just a generic removal for your opponent's side of the field. 2 zombies, so easily just get that off of Zombie World. And that is the deck. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, it would mean a lot. And finally, if you guys have any recommendations or any videos you guys want to see in the future that I just haven't gone around covering or anything like that, also let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.